do you play a sport, an instrument, or like to play video games? This is a very simple survey. Here's how you're going to answer it. If you're going to be on a sports team sometime this year, okay, or you have been already, we're going to say yes. You can put a check, you can put an X, you can say yes to that. This is me, okay. So everybody put an X for me. And for an instrument, I have a guitar at home, I don't play it. So therefore, no, I don't really play an instrument with any kind of regularity. I'll just leave that blank. Video games. I play video games all the time. My favorite is still the classic NES, Nintendo system. I play Dr. Mario, Tetris, RBI Baseball, greatest game of all time. No arguments. And this is my data set. I am a yes, no, yes, okay?
Same.
If you're, let's talk about the instrument one. If you're in band, then you're a yes. If you play an instrument at home outside of band, like you go home and you play the piano all the time. You go home and do play the guitar all the time. Like you can say yes to that. You don't have to be in band to say yes. Okay. So as quickly as we can, we're going to run through the data set and just I need data from you. Okay. Mason, we'll start with you. Go to that Venn diagram. You've seen Venn diagrams before, at least you should have. And they are labeled with the three areas that we talked about: sports, instruments, and video games. The dead center of that is anybody who is a yes, 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 right? There, the overlap of all three circles is you. And let's count back in the data set how many people we have. Of that, I see 1, 2. All right, so right in the middle, everybody read it 2. 2 people are represented by all three categories. Now you want to pair 2 up at a time, okay? You guys see this little football shape right here?
Yeah.
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 We're not going to count these people twice, okay? We don't want to double up on that. But we do want to know, excluding those 2 people, how many are in the sport instrument category, which would be yes, yes, no. Count 4? Okay. I always like to put dots next to the ones I count so I don't count anybody twice, okay? So yes, yes, no, there's 1, there's 2. So there's 2 outside of the 2 we already have, right?
Wait, on the
Did I miss somebody?
Wait, yes, yes, no.
So yes, yes, no.
Yeah, there's only 2.
There's only 2, okay. So there are 2 people that are there.
Oh, do we make it now? Here?
Yeah.
One.
All right, now let's do the overlap of,
I thought it was just everybody that. Oh, yeah, never mind. I already did.
okay,
I counted all the one that had everybody.
you're good. Yeah, we don't want to count those twice. The overlap of instruments and video games would be here, this football shape. So that would be a no, yes, yes.
1.
1. I agree. Okay, there's 1 person there. Now move it to this section over here. Don't break, okay. Sport, this is the most popular section, okay? Yeah, outside of those 2, right? So you counted 7? Yeah, let me know.
3, 4, 5, 6. 8. I got 8.
6, 7. I count 7.
I counted myself.
Okay. Now we go to the, there's 1 X in the data set before we're putting the table, where it's like just sport, just instrument. So let's start with just sports. There's 1 here, 2, 3. There's 3. Based on my records, I put a dot next to all the people, right? So clearly these are going to be zeros.
Wait, I only got 2.
All right. Did we account for all students? Andy, did I get you?
No. Wow.
I am really sorry. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Andy, where would you be?
No, no, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Hey, guess what? That puts you right here. Let's cross that out. Put 1. Not sure why that happened. That won't happen again.
1.
Okay.
I
So if
only
we
got
add
2
up.
for this one.
Hmm?
I only got 2 for this one.
For which one?
Like, just for school.
Just for sports? Okay. If I go back, I see this one's just sports.
I got Mason.
And then there's 1 here at the bottom. And there's 1 at the very top of the next column.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
there's 3. I'm included in the sample, so if everybody's here, which I think we have everybody here now, there should be 16 total, I believe. Okay. So let's add these up. We got 5, and another 9 is 14, plus 2 is 16. Everybody's counted. Okay. This is actually kind of tough to do. Watch this. We're going to take the Venn diagram, which has 3 sections, and we're going to narrow it down just into 2. Okay? And when we do this, we want to like exclude certain sections of the Venn diagram based on what we want here. look at all the people that play a sport and play an instrument, okay? So you guys see the overlap of those two? Sport and instrument, isn't it right here? How many people are actually in that section?
4.
There's 4, okay? There's those two and those two. So I'm gonna put a 4 right there. Say 4 people are accounted for. Now move to this one. Play an instrument, but don't play a sport. So you're looking at the instrument circle, and you're crossing out all the sport people because they don't play a sport. How many people are still in the instrument circle?
0.
1. Isn't that in the circle? Okay, so we have 1 person there.
They still play an instrument.
Yep, they still play an instrument.
But they don't. Okay.
Yeah, the question is play an instrument, don't play a sport, right? Next category, play a sport, don't play an instrument. So we have to cross out all the instrument people. Or you know what you can do on your paper? You can just like cover those up with your hand, okay?
11.
And then you say, how many people are still in the sport circle?
10.
Oh.
That's 10?
No, that's 10.
This person's not in the sports category, okay? So the 10. And then don't play a sport, don't play an instrument, everybody's excluded, and we got this one right here, okay? 1. Add up your rows and columns. 4 plus 1 is 5, 10 plus 1 is 11, for a total of 16. The vertical and horizontal should match, okay? So they should both be equal to 16. If we go down, this is 14, and that's 2. We have 16 both right. Okay. That is taking your data and organizing it into a place where you can actually access it easily. So we have that. We have a two-way table. Now, from this two-way table, we're going to answer this question down here. So read it with me. What % of athletes? Can you please underline that and write this word? That is your population. You're doing a subgroup, okay? So if I just isolate the people who are athletes and say, of the athletes, hey, go to the people who play sports. Go to that column. What's the total?
14.
14. That is your population now, okay? Instead of 16, we're narrowing it down to 14. So you say out of 14, denominator, okay, there's 14 people in my population. How many also played instruments?
4.
Stay in this column. 4. See that? Play an instrument. 4 out of 14. It's right there. So that is your numerator. And I tend to understand percentages better than fractions. So 4 out of 14, I could reduce that. That's 2 out of 7. And I do know the decimal expansion for that, but if I say we just write down what that decimal looks like. So 4 divided by 14. I got 0.28. That would round to a 6. And then we all know how to change decimals into percents, right? Just move it over 2 to the right, multiply by 100. So this is about 28.6% of the student population, including myself, that are athletes who play instruments. In the other class, it was 18.7%, so a little bit less. So isn't that pretty close to about a fourth, right? 25% is a fourth.
Yeah.
So if I were to pick at random, just like close my eyes and like pick point to a person, I would essentially have about a 1 out of 4 chance of getting one of these people, an athlete who plays an instrument.
Let's see if we can do it.
Okay. So what, don't I have a 75% or like 70-some% chance of failure?
Yeah.
Right, so it's more likely that I fail, okay? And I don't remember the data, so, Jake, are you an athlete who plays an instrument? I failed. Okay. That's how probability works though. I was more likely to fail right there, okay? And I don't remember. If we can do this well, historically, my students do very well on these questions because we do a good job of analyzing the data, pulling the numbers that we need, and answering the questions based off of that. Really, the big part is just knowing what these numbers mean, right? When I say out of something, you have to go to that category. Out of athletes, out of people who play an instrument, there's only 5 in the room, see that? And out of those 5, 4 play sports, so 80% of those people play a sport. So there's a high percentage of people, if you play an instrument, you probably also play a sport. See what I just did there? Yeah, you can filter it into different subgroups. All right, that was good. Close it up.